Hey friends, today we're in Fort Tyrone Park in Manhattan. Hey friends, welcome to my channel, NBC Lifestyles Diary. My name is Marie and I live in New York. I love fashion, travel, cooking and entertaining, and cultural events. And I'm asking you to join me on the adventure. So today I'm at Fort Tyrone Park, which was named after a British officer. But before that, it was known as Fort Washington. And one of the Revolutionary Army battles was held up here. And we obviously lost because it was taken over by the British. And he was the last governor of the state of New York. So after the Revolutionary War, when most British names were being taken away from landmarks and American names were being placed, this park managed to hold on to that name, Fort Tyrone. Pretty unpopulated during the 19th century, and it was the Lenape Indians who still held their claim to it. But in the 20th century, as New York became more populated, it became the area of where people would build their large estates. So there were several large estates. There were some grand houses that were built here. And as time went on, John D. Rockefeller Jr. told a story about being in love with this area as he walked through the acreages with his dad. So he proceeded in buying up this area. And this area is pretty large, and it overlooks the Hudson and the Harlem River, and you also see the Palisades. And in one of his proposals for this park, he bought up the acreage. He wanted the city to take it over, and he also bought up the Palisades so that the view would never change or be obstructed. And he wanted to develop the Palisades land division that would take care of that park. So that was the package deal that he offered the city. It took 3 attempts to get this done. So here we are at the top, taking a look at this beautiful vista, and you're looking at the Palisades, which John D. Rockefeller Jr. Tried so hard to preserve, and I think he succeeded. You're looking across to Jersey, and on the other side, you have a view of the city. This park is located in Inwood, but as I was growing up, I always referred to it as Washington Heights. Also enclosed in this park is the Cloisters, which is a brand of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it ties into the fact that, so John D. Rockefeller Jr. purchased the medieval art collection of George Shea Bernard. It was quite an extensive collection. And Mr. Bernard was also hired on as a consultant as he put it together. And that explains how the Cloisters came to be. So this is a sarcophagus that has been laid out in this park for 2 things. So it's in the medieval style of a tomb, but it's really to commemorate an American Revolutionary War hero. And this is Margaret Corbin, who was the first woman to die in the Battle of Fort Washington, or as we now know, Fort Tyrone. So, of course, they use different things that symbolize, so the eagle at her feet, the shield in defense, the patriot, our national symbol here. So an artist has taken liberty in combining these 2 styles, kind of to give the history of the park, that it was a battle scene for the American Revolution, and that also it contains wonderful medieval art treasures. And this was done by Zach Landberg. So basically, Rockefeller offered this park deal to the city 3 times. So finally, the 3rd time, the city accepted Rockefeller's deal because he had agreed to make improvements to the land. And the improvements that he made was a $2 million renovation by hiring the Olmsted brothers to do the landscaping and the design of the park. The Olmsted at that point was led by the son of the original person that designed Central Park. And they used the same theories, which was to have a garden place, to have architectural features in the park, to have beauty suddenly revealed, and just to use the landscape to their benefit. So this park, it's on a hilltop, so what they did was they did terraces so that there are winding paths through the park. There's gardens in the park, and that's what's behind me right now. And there's beautiful little reveals in meadows and gardens as you walk throughout. So this is the Heather Garden, which was a planned garden as part of the Olmsted design. And it's terraces, it's several layers, or levels, I should say, and you're seeing it in full bloom. If you've watched my other park videos, you've seen it during the winter or in the spring, before everything has become lush. And this garden is showing you lushness. And it's a totally different landscape when these plants are hibernating or not in bloom. But here it smells wonderful. There are butterflies, there are birds. The color is exquisite. It's just a pleasure to be here. So I hope you enjoyed my tour of Fort Tyrone Park. And behind me is the entrance of the park where the bus stops, and there's a train station. So it's accessible through mass transit. Well worth the trip. Bring a basket for a picnic. I hope New Leaf Cafe is open by the time the summer comes around. But if you enjoy this, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And please keep following MBC Lifestyles Diary.